All right, guys, I'm going to share with you a watch that my buddy Doug sent in. This is a watch that he actually bought and wore. Actually, it lived on his wrist from the day he bought it, which was really not that long ago. And there's definitely some scratches on it. You can see some wear. But Doug actually works for a living, and, it shows in this watch. And that brings me to another point before we get into the case size and everything on this, that I really do think Tag Heuer, especially the Aquaracer lineup, is probably one of the better picks. And I know I might catch flack for this, but there's a lot of like ADs out there. These are accessible even for people that are going to go into like a jewelry store and AD and buy it. This would be like maybe not their first nice watch, or even maybe it is their first nice watch, but this is definitely a brand name that is recognized and pulls a premium in most cases, whether you're a watch person or not. And they make great watches. They're unique. They have a really good look to them, and they just perform well. Every time I've had a Tag, especially the Aquaracer lineup, I've been impressed. Like, I really do like them. Retail on these, $26.50. Most people are probably never going to pay that, even if you're in the retail environment. Now, if you look at, say, like Lume Shot, I hate to pick on them. There's a bunch of other resellers out there, whether it's the gray market new or even used. The prices are, I think, basically gray market new, you're going to drop like $1,000. You're basically going to pay around $1,700, $1,800. And then if you look on the used market, you're probably going to pay even a little bit less than that, depending on condition. If it's used near mint, you're probably going to pay around $1,500. If it's used in like this case here, you're probably going to pay about $1,250. So as long as you buy gray market or used, it's pretty much going to hold its value. But I really think most people that buy these, they buy it and they wear it and they keep it. That's pretty much what I see out in the wild. If you guys have the opportunity to run into people that are wearing watches and that aren't watch guys like us, that are just obsessive about it, a lot of them you'll see Tag Aquaracers on their wrist. It's a very common thing. They buy them and they keep them. That's it. So, and I think the watch definitely has merit in that role for sure. I've seriously toyed with the idea of actually adding a 41 millimeter to my collection. This one's a 43. Well, let's get into the case size now that I've babbled on about all that, my thoughts on the actual brand and the watch. So it's a 43 millimeter, but when I measure the case, it's actually like 44. The only place I can get 43 is if I measure at the bezel. Say if I measure from the 40 to the 10, or the short part of the bezel across, it's 43 millimeter. Other than that, it's basically a 44 millimeter watch. Now, Doug's wrist is actually probably like my size or even smaller, and he rocked this no problem. So it still wears good, and I'll show that in a minute. But, I mean, I would go towards the 41, but say you have a larger wrist or you just like the larger watch, the 43 has more color options. So I'll put a link to Tag's website down below, and it'll be the 43 millimeter section. So if you scan down there, they have like 10 different colorways or something like that. So plenty of options there that it's going to appease somebody. 50 millimeter lug tip to lug tip here. And then the thickness is about 12 3/4. You got a flat sapphire crystal with an excellent date magnifier. I actually kind of like that when they're done well like that. So I'm having a difficult time measuring the lug width here. I'm pretty sure this is a 21 millimeter. Maybe you guys can help me out with that. And then the bracelet has a nice taper down to 18 mil. And then you have a full machined out clasp, double pushers, 3 micro adjusts, and you have the dive extension. Like I said, I have the dive extension out right now because otherwise I won't be able to get it over my wrist. I didn't size it. There's a look at the case back. Screw down case back. 300 meter depth rating, screw down crown, really nice crown action. Talk about the bracelet real quick. The links are actually really nice. They articulate well, and they use a pin and collar system. And I know these are a pain in the butt to size. Well, the Christopher Ward I just sized to use this exact same system. The bracelets are actually very similar. So they're crazy secure. Like once you get a size, you're probably never going to size the bracelet again. So I don't know why people get hung up on that. The pin and collar might be a bear on the front side when you actually size it, but after that, forget about it. It's solid. It's it's rock solid. So solid end links. You got that center piece there that articulates. It doesn't go all the way around. So, you know, but it drops off pretty quick. So it's still going to be comfy on wrist. 120 click bezel, custom, you know, ceramic, you know, it's definitely only for this watch. If you look at the bezel and the way that ceramic is shaped in there. So 120 click, very smooth, nice action. Everything lines up good. I'm a huge fan of the indices on the tag and the handset. There's dual lume on this too, and they did a really good job on the dial and everything. So let me pop this on the wrist. I'll give you a close-up, and then I'll actually show you next to the Christopher Ward. See, like I could easily wear the 43. Like this is no problem on wrist, and really has better wrist presence than the 41. So I guess I'm a little torn. It depends. If the 43 had a colorway that I liked more, then I would probably just go with the 43, because I think they're about the same price. They might be a slight difference, but it's really close. Double pushers, nice, easy to use. So here's the Christopher Ward in the 42 millimeter. Yeah, that's what this is. The bracelets are actually pretty similar. Like I said, definitely the pin and collar system's similar. So these are both great watches, but like I said, the Christopher Ward is not mainstream. Now, if Christopher Ward would do a U.S. authorized dealer, that would kind of open things up definitely for the USA crowd. You know, the shipping and getting them from Christopher Ward in the UK and everything is not a big deal for us watch guys. But like I said, a lot of these people that are wearing the tag, this is just the obvious choice with the affordable luxury brand. You know, because maybe to us, we get a little desensitized at paying, you know, $1,500, $1,800 for a watch. But, you know, for someone just walking into a boutique and the price tag is $2,650 and they might be able to get 10% off or something like that, that's a big chunk of money, you know, $2,500 or something, you know, with tax and everything. So anyway, let's take a close up and then I'll do a Lume shot so you can see there. Excuse any dust or anything like that, but you can see just a beautiful dial, excellent handset. Nice pop of yellow on there. The caliber 5 is basically, it's either going to be an ETA 2824 or a Sellita SW200. I'm not 100% sure which one they're using currently. It might be the Sellita, but they must do a little bit of work to it. Every time I throw one of these on the time grapher, they perform really good. No, you know, same thing with this guy. I threw it on the time grapher and it's running at like a +6 seconds. So it's running really good, excellent amplitude, and no beat error or anything like that. So excellent finish on this thing. Like I said, you can see there's definitely some scratches on there. That could probably be taken down a little bit with a cape cloth. Signed crown. Just a great looking watch. I love the blue on these. They do a great job with the blue. Not sure what color I would get. See how useful that date magnifier is? All right, let's check out the Lume shot. You know what? I better move the hands out of the way. Otherwise, you're not going to get the full effect here. So there's that. And for full effect, we're going to give it a little blast of the light here. You can see dual lume there. I've shown that before. I'm going to move the monster out of the way. All right, there you go. That's seriously one of my favorite parts about these tags. They have really good lume, broad hands, excellent indices, and then the dual color is so good. Like the Omega Seamaster Professionals, they have the dual lume on them, but they don't have as much real estate as the Tag Aquaracer. I really like the way the lume is done on these. It's very, very pleasant to look at. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.